Hurricane Irene hit Vermont on August 28, 2011, killing 6 people and causing more than $700 million in damage. It was the worst flooding the state had seen since another storm in 1927. Damage from both floods is documented through records housed at the Vermont State Archives.
The 1927 flood is really a watershed event in Vermont history. October of 1927 was a very wet month for Vermont. There was a tropical storm that strikes the state in November 4th. Because the ground's saturated, there's an immense amount of rain that comes from the tropical storm, and this results in lots of widespread flooding in the state. Houses are lost. There's some 1,300 bridges that are damaged. Miles of roads are damaged. Miles of railroad track. The flooding cost 84 lives. Among those, Lieutenant Governor Hollister Jackson. His car becomes stuck while trying to get home, and he gets out and he's swept away and drowns. So these are some of our records related to the 1927 flood. This map was created probably in 1928 by the Department of Highways. And what the Department of Highways did is they went and they documented all of the damage to the roads and bridges throughout the state. And this really gives you a good, concise picture of the different communities that were affected. You can see the green lines here document which roads were damaged. The red circles that are filled in document the bridges that were damaged. The red circles that aren't filled in were bridges that they had surveyed to see if they were damaged. And looking at this map, you can start to get a sense of which communities were hardest hit. If you look where Montpelier is, the Winooski River Valley was one of the areas that was suffered a lot of damage. The White River, another area. And down through the center of the state, where a lot of the deeper valleys, where a lot of the water collected. And it took the state years to recover. The total damage between the loss of agricultural crops, agricultural livestock, damage to railroads, damage to roads, damage to property. The accounting then was approximately $35 million in damages, which in today's money is somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 million. These are some postcards of Montpelier and Waterbury following the flood in '27. You can see the State House lawn that's just littered with debris. And this postcard is of Waterbury, which is just west of Montpelier. Waterbury suffered a lot of damage. You can see on the left-hand side here where the house is essentially, half of it is collapsed. There were communities that were just cut off for days, if not weeks. Moortown, which is over here. So the U.S. Army actually led a pack train with supplies, so on donkeys, over the mountain to the residents of Moortown, because there was no other way to reach them until bridges in Middlesex could be reconstructed. This is a state agency record, and it was created for the use of the Department of Highways. So you can think of people looking at this map being able to survey the state, understand the scope of the damage, and be able to plan from this. So 84 years after the '27 flood, Vermont is struck by another tropical storm, and this time it's Irene, and that strikes Vermont on August 28th, 2011, just a little over a year ago. And anywhere between, I think, 6 and 7 inches of rain fall on Vermont within approximately a day's time. There's a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. And again, you see widespread flooding. The map we have here, similar to the map from '27, was created this time by the Agency of Transportation, documenting the destruction to roads and bridges. This map is actually drawn September 1st, so this is done right after, shortly after Irene hits. If you look at where the communities were hit during Irene and you compare them to communities that suffered a lot of destruction from the '27 flood, there are a lot of similarities. And that's just because the mountains and valleys haven't really moved in 80 years. It's another one of those events where it's a tragedy, and then I think one of the remarkable things is the reaction of communities to help people recover. You see towns come together, support each other. Just down the road, Waterbury was one of the towns that was significantly hit. The town really made a lot of efforts to bring people together. They were organizing their own volunteers to help people who had lost homes, lost other property. So it's been a remarkable thing to see, and it really continues. Within Vermont, you really have that strong sense of community, which I think is just highlighted when these types of disasters happen.